But let's get back to blowing up the Blazers. The Blazers have waved the white flag to say no mas, no mas. They got rid of all NBA defender from Tennessee State, Rob Covington. They got rid of they got rid of somebody else who's not good.
Norm Powell.
Norm Powell, excuse me, he is actually decent. Norm Powell sent him down to the Clippers for Eric Bledsoe and shit.
Did they waive Bledsoe after that?
I haven't seen it, but I hope I don't get a push notification telling me that they waived Bledsoe. Because, I mean, it baffles me that Eric Bledsoe gets to play NBA games and John Wall doesn't. I get their salaries are totally different, but come on, man. Like, come on. Eric Bledsoe was never a winning basketball player, let's be honest. And then they trade CJ McCollum to the Pelicans, and they get who do they get in return? They get my guy from Villanova. Come on, Sean, your guy, Josh Hart.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, they get Josh Hart and some other scraps. Pretty much what the Blazers are saying is we're blowing it up. And what they've said out their mouth is that they're going to retool the team around Damian Lillard. But Damian Lillard is at an age where I don't think he sees enough tools in the shed to want to be here. And I think he's going to be asking out at the end of the season, waiting for Chris Haynes to report it.
With what assets are they going to get anybody? Who are they going to trade? Like CJ McCollum was the biggest chip that they had on the team, and they traded him for a plate of red beans. And I'm like, I don't get what else is there? Like, Portland isn't an attractive city for NBA, free agents. Maybe you get somebody on the buyout market, but you're competing with the Lakers and playing with LeBron. Dame might is reevaluated or in the next week or two with his 6-week timeline that he put on that surgery he had. And so I just don't really see what Portland was doing by trading CJ for nothing. I mean, Josh Hart, cool, but that's not, like CJ had more trade value than anybody else. And so I don't see who they're going to get that's going to really make a 1-2 punch in Portland that's going to be better than CJ and give them a better team, unless Dame just wanted more space.
It's also weird because what they traded for Covington versus what they traded Covington for was like a complete downgrade. I think they traded 2 first-round picks for him, and what they get back? Keon Johnson and a second rounder. I think that's his name. When you look at it that way, they just gave up 2 first-round picks for a Covington rental, and it didn't obviously work out, even though he's a Sixers legend. I'll give him props for that. And then they gave up Norm Powell, who I thought was pretty good. He's a good off-ball shooter. He's a tough defender. Like, he's basically what you wanted Eric Gordon for if you were trying to get Eric Gordon during the trade deadline. So I think that was if you want to talk about who got fleeced, I think the Clippers fleeced them, obviously. But it's weird because it's one of those destinations, Portland, where like that's the only way CJ was going to the Pelicans is because they traded for him. Like, that was why they had to do that. You either get people high in the draft or you get them via trades or salary jumps. So I feel like, do they still have their first round pick this year, the Blazers?
Keep talking, I'll look it up.
Okay, because that's the like small markets are put in such a spot in the NBA, and I mean, I guess in any sports league, but especially in the NBA, where like you can only get big stars a couple ways if you're a team like Portland, especially as Dame gets older and less durable, unfortunately. I mean, other than Dame, what do you have? Nurkic? Is that who's left at this point? I guess Simons, but like that's your one young player. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, that does not make a team. I can't really understand what the game plan is. And you almost think that like, could they not have swapped like Westbrook for McCollum? And that would have been better for both teams ultimately. And CJ can run the one and prefers to, honestly, and it's been forced to with Dame out. And so, like, why not swap the guys? Like, CJ's getting well paid. Maybe the money's not perfect, but you give him a chance at least. And, it's probably not a perfect combination for Dame, but Dame might not play again this year if he doesn't want to. And I think that you give yourself a chance with a guy that like maybe you bring some folks over.
So they did pick up a first rounder from New Orleans. They owe their first rounder to the Chicago Bulls. So I guess that helps out.